here we go. Or you can just pick at your tags.
Well, are you going to ask me a question?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
So you are writing a book right now about your life, right? Or about parts of your life?
Part of my life, yeah.
What is the book about?
It's about how I view men post-engagement fail. So my emotional detachment for the last 2 years.
Okay, emotional. Can you go into any more detail about this detachment?
Okay, well, I thought I was going to be marrying the man, my best friend, who I would spend the rest of my life with, and it didn't turn out to be that way. And I never saw it coming, so it completely destroyed me, and I've been building myself back up ever since. And building myself back up includes dating guys and not caring at all about them.
Can you give an example of what you mean by that?
An example? Well, I was dating a very nice gentleman who would have given me the world, but the moment he said that he loved me, I had a panic attack and decided that I needed to immediately break up with him.
So you reacted, do you have any idea why you reacted like that when he said he loved you?
Because I didn't really feel like he actually knew me, and he was kind of saying it quickly. Like, I did believe that he loved me, but it was more of like an infatuation than actual love, because how could you be so confident to say that you love someone when you're not even sure if they love you back? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So if I can just summarize that quick, you are worried that this person jumped into something too quickly without really knowing you well enough to be able to express that kind of feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, like I felt as though like I had shown who I was, but yet like I didn't love him, and the way he said it too, it was just like he it was just immature. It wasn't like, it just felt like high school love and not actual adult, I'm 30 years old love.
Okay. Do you have any examples where that might have been turned around?
Yeah. Turned around, you mean for me?
Right, like, because you said you're experiencing detachment. So is there another way that you've been expressing that detachment, that you've been living that kind of detachment?
By taking random men home and not caring if I know their names or not.
Okay.
Which is, you know, I'm an intelligent woman, so it's very dangerous. I know the consequences, but at the same time, at the time, I don't care. Yes.
Now, do you have any idea why you turned to that when your engagement fell through and not something else?
Because I feel as though it was part of the reason why he left. He was no longer attracted to me, and he wanted me to change things about myself physically. So, you know, maybe I just need to be wanted by other men.
Okay. What part of where does the book come in all of this? What part pushed you to want to share this whole experience with everyone else?
Because another part of why the relationship didn't work is that I believe it was founded a lot on lies. Like he was always like just not being himself and not telling the truth about his life, and I'm a true believer like in just saying how it is. So I mean, I know that other people have experienced what I've experienced and been promiscuous for all the wrong reasons, and if I write about it, I know people will understand. And it's a story presented in like just a different way. Like I haven't really seen a story presented the way that I am presenting it, and the whole thing is pretty much all factual, which is sad to say, but yeah, it's kind of just telling the truth and exactly what I've been through, and not like not denying it. You know, like people are gonna judge me, but I'd rather tell the truth and have some people who can relate to me read it than to like lie.
So the writing of the book, if I'm understanding correctly, is it more to get the story out there, like a cautionary tale, or is there any therapeutic benefit to getting everything out on paper?
Well, I mean, obviously it's therapeutic, but for me it's more so I discovered that I love to write, so it's I would like it to turn into a cautionary tale, and I want to write more. I feel like I have more views on love and like how, like just not. This one's very specific about like the men that have been in my life in the last 2 years, and I want to like branch out on like codependency versus detachment. Um, yeah, so I feel like as I have way more stuff to write about, so it's kind of like changing my entire life in terms of deciding that, you know, I want to leave my current career and just focus on writing. So it's a change of life, which I needed, and it took me this long to realize it. If I stay in the life I'm in now, I'm still going to be attached to him in certain ways, and um, I just want a clean slate.
Okay, so again, just to make sure that I'm getting everything right, the whole putting it out there and putting it down on paper and writing is partially for yourself, right? Partially to start something new, and partially to make sure that others don't have to necessarily go down the same path if faced with the same dilemma or the same situation.
Yeah, like in some ways I make light of it, but at the same time I still explain how embarrassing it is to go to your doctors and admit that you want a pap test because you're sure that you have some sort of STI, you know, because like the odds are in that favor. So I mean, like I joke about it, but at the same time, it's like it's the consequences that come with it.
Have you found it hard to write down any of the stories that you've dealt with so far, or
One, yes.
one? Yes.
Most of them just come out so easily, but there's one that I've had a difficult time writing because I've developed feelings for this guy, and he's the only person who I can actually say that I've had feelings for, genuine. Um, yeah, so I have a difficult time writing about him because it's actually from the heart and not just from an empty space.
Was it always hard to write about this particular person? Did that develop over time, or has it always been?
Um, well, I think at one point when I felt like I was perhaps just an object, it was easier to write about it, but in the past 5 months, I've like skipped writing those final paragraphs because it's difficult to sum up what's going on. Like I don't know, you know, I want to be loved, but I fear rejection, and I've like rejected 20 something men in the last 2 years, and all of a sudden I'm fearing rejection because it's not just the actual feelings, and I wasn't sure I'd ever feel those again.
So, is it at all safe to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it all safe to say that this whole path that you've gone down over the past, how long ago was it that the engagement breakthrough?
2 years.
2 years. So is it safe to say that this whole path has led you to what you were looking for, or is that still unsure, or is it not at all? Because I'm and this is an assumption, but I'm assuming that all of this was to try to break away from the feelings that you had for the first man, right?
Mhm.
So have you been able to achieve what you wanted to by living the life you have over the last 2 years?
Well, I mean, he's he's a stranger to me now, and I don't remember much. Like, I've kind of just, like, he's dead to me, literally, because the person I knew isn't alive anymore. And same with me. I'm a completely different person. So, yeah, it's led me to question everything, because I was so sure before, and that's where I think I needed to be. Like, I was sitting still before, like, I had a house and a job, and that's where I wanted to be, and now, like, I'm questioning everything, and I think that's great. Like, it's opening up all these different doors, and I have friendships that I didn't have before, and um, but I'm still emotionally guarded, um, and like, people ask me if I want kids. Like, that question pains me, because it's like, well, I always saw myself as family, but then now it's like, is that actually the path I'm supposed to be on? I'm turning 32, and that's, you know, scary. I don't even know if I answered your question.
It's okay. You got somewhere.
Yeah.
Clearly, the kids question is one that is on your mind if you were able to go in and get that and bring that out.
Mhm.
Is that something that you get asked often?
Well, I mean, I teach high school students, right?
Right.
So they kind of guess my age, and then they say, oh, do you have kids, or are you going to have kids, or you should have kids, and it's like, well, it's brought up without me even wanting to discuss it, and sometimes I don't even think, sometimes I'll hear a crying kid in Walmart, and I'll be like, ugh, but yet I've always wanted a family, so, yeah, that's what I want, but I feel like it's the time to do it, but I don't see myself anywhere near that anytime soon. So I don't know how it's going to come about in the future.
So just to put everything together again quickly before I conclude, what I'm getting so far, and again, you can feel free to add or take away from that, but just to summarize, I'm getting a lot of different feelings from what you've said so far. You seem to be really happy about this new path that you're going down, but
Mm-hmm.
still kind of upset about some of the consequences of it.
Well, I wouldn't say upset. I think it's just like letting go of like where, like the vision that I had. Yeah, it's definitely not upset. It's just like, you think your life is going to take a certain path, and then it doesn't. And then for me, it's like, I know that I'm supposed to be on the path that I am now, but it's letting go of the picture that I had in my mind before. And I think I've been doing that. Like, I don't lay there and cry at night because I don't have a family or whatnot, it's not like that. I'm excited to see what the future holds. It's just not at all what I had pictured. So it's the word, yeah, I wouldn't say upset, I would say a little bit scared, frightful. But that's with anything regarding the future, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.